inside the headset, and I'm here with the head coach of the Oakland Patriots, Coach Kevin Creasy. How you doing, Coach?
Doing good, Stuart.
Well, I guess the last time I spoke to you was at the Alumni Game, but I want to go back a little bit, even though it's not that time of the year, but you've played 29 games, you've won 26 as a 6A head coach, lost 3. You lost 1 to Maryville, lost 1 to Hoover, and your last loss was to a team out of Whitehaven, Memphis, and that was the championship game. Just want to close the chapter on it. Even though it's a new season and everything, what's changed since then? You know, you go and you play in that championship as a 6A. You did it at another level. What's your thoughts on that game as to close that chapter?
Yeah, you know, had a good group of seniors. You know, I thought they were a real special bunch. Whitehaven obviously had a special bunch of seniors as well. You know, they had 19 guys that signed to play college football on signing day. And we were happy, you know, we had our 9 guys sign, and then we've had a couple guys walk on and make the team this summer at other colleges. So, you know, it was a special bunch for us, and you know, we made it over that obstacle of the 4th round that's kind of been in the way for a while, and, you know, beat a really good Maryville team and kind of got some revenge from the year before. But, you know, came up a little bit short, was winning most of the game. 2 minutes and 1 second left, I think they took the lead. And, you know, you sit there and you hate that it happened, and you hate that type thing ended your season, because you never want to, you know, lose your last one. You want to win your last one, no matter how many wins and losses you have during the season. But I'll have to say it was probably one of the worst losses we've been associated with. But, you know, time kind of heals that thing. You flip on the TV and you watch a really good Alabama team do the same thing, lose in the 4th quarter to a very talented Clemson team. You turn on the Super Bowl, the Patriots come from behind down, 24-3?
Absolutely.
So you see the Falcons, you know, kind of going through the same part of the equation that you've gone through. And, you know, you've been in it long enough. This is my 20th year coaching football, so I've been on the other end of some games I probably didn't deserve to win, and came out, you know, smelling like a rose. And then on this one, it just kind of fell where we were on the wrong end. And you know, in football, you got to have a winner and you got to have a loser, and that was very, very disappointing. But at the same time, you know, it's part of it.
Graduated that bunch, started early this year, starting to put together the 2017 squad, and the first thing you realize is you're lacking experience. You've got a lot of good kids. They've played some JV ball, they've played some freshman ball, but the 2017 Oakland Patriot bunch, they're lacking one thing, and that's under the lights, true rolling, you know, going into the motions and experiencing all those things. Talk a little bit about that and what you need to do to get this squad ready.
Yeah, you know, we've got to go with some of the guys that did get some playing time, and
sure.
And fortunate for us, I think there were probably 12 or 13 games in which we had a comfortable lead and put in those guys. But it's not really the same when you're under the lights and things are getting thick and things are hairy, and you got a little adversity hit you in the mouth. So our guys are trying to grow up real fast, because nobody in this league really feels sorry for you for graduating a bunch of seniors. It's one of those deals where, are you going to reload or are you going to, you know, rebuild? We'll know that answer in a few weeks. Right now, we're trying to do as much to get these guys ready for the season as possible. You know, we played a heck of a preseason schedule. I'll put our preseason schedule up against anybody's. You know, you go against Ray County and Coach Pemberton, a real physical bunch. They'll hit you in the mouth, and they'll make you grow up real quick, and they'll make you see who can play and who can't. Knox Catholic, we had a great scrimmage with them in the spring. Come back, and in the fall, we start out with McCallie, and we did really well against McCallie, and turned right back around and had a game against Hendersonville, a real game-like situation with Hendersonville, and did really well in that one. So we're feeling pretty good with ourselves. And then Cane Ridge comes in and humbles us a little bit.
Oh!
Yeah, so Cane Ridge, you know, I'm expecting great things out of those guys. They do a great job, well coached. And, you know, so we got a little bit of what we needed, and that's humbled. came back and played really well against Rowan Academy, Montgomery Bell Academy in the Jamboree. So, this team has some bright spots, but again, there's only one way to get experience, and that's to get out there and get it, and so with that preseason schedule, hopefully it'll help us kind of early on, knowing that we've kind of got to go through the gauntlet this early part of the season. Our first 5 opponents, we've got to be ready, we've got to be prepared, and like I said, no one feels really sorry for us.
Runway-wise, this team and the potential that is there, what do you feel like, Coach? I mean, as far as the guys that you got, I mean, is the sky the limit? I mean, as far as long as they progress and get better, or, I'm sure some of their runway of some of the kids isn't as long as the other ones, that'd be common sense. But what do you feel about runway with these guys?
Well, I think, you're only as good as your seniors. I think our seniors are hungry, and a lot of those guys got to play last year, but a bunch of them were on the sidelines. And so they're hungry to get out there and show what they got. And so, your seniors have to have the best year of their career, their senior year, and I think last year our guys did that. And they got to be unselfish, and they got to be motivated, and they got to be good leaders, not necessarily vocal, but they just got to, be a good example for everyone else. And so far, so good. Junior class, we have a lot of talent in the junior class, and some of those guys are stepping up into roles that a senior would normally have. But we're kind of short this year. We've got 11 seniors. I think when they were sophomores is when I arrived, and there were 25 of them.
Right.
So there's 14 that went by the wayside, decided to play another sport or play at another school or not play at all. And that's just part of it. But the 11 that we got are pretty tough, and we're glad to have them.
Just looking out towards the schedule and everything, you've got the normal suspects, but a couple of them have dropped off. Talk about your out-of-district suspects, and you've got one of them coming up Friday night with Independence as a TV game takes place.
Yeah, Independence, the last 30 games, their record's better than ours. They've won 29 of the last 30. Coach Blade does a great job. He's won at every school he's ever been at. So, we're impressed with what Independence puts on the field. I think the best compliment we can give anybody is that they play really hard for Coach Blake, and they don't make any mistakes on special teams. They're real solid on defense, and of course everybody talks about their offense. Throwing it all over the place. Got really talented players. Got 2 D1 receivers. Possible SEC receivers. And then I think the running backs overlooked by a lot of people. I think their running backs Division I prospects as well.
You've got an extra advantage, as Coach Dye would like to say. You've got some special teams expertise. A guy that is good at kicking field goals, good at punts, good at kicking PATs and stuff, and can put a lot of hidden yardage on your opponents and stuff. Talk a little bit about just having that already going in. As 1/3 of the game takes place, or 6 plays in special teams throughout a football game, but just having that one piece already kind of gelled together, and then building your base offense and base defense around the next cruise. Talk a little bit about your special teams.
Yeah, we've always tried to make special teams special around here. Well, we just happen to have some really talented guys coming back. Now, you talk about returning players. Aaron Sears is, a possible Mr. Football candidate as a kicker, and pins opponents, in their own territory all the time. Has a consecutive extra point streak. He hit 88 out of 88 last year. Going all the way back to his sophomore year, he has a chance to break a state record if we score a touchdown.
Okay.
And he's got to put the PAT through just once to beat the current state record for consecutive extra points.
And that'd be a nice thing to have here at Oakland High School, as well as for him.
Well, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. And like I said, we've got our battery back. We've got our snapper.
Yeah.
Okay. It all starts with the snap. Okay. We've got John Leonard. We've got one of the best snappers in the state. Our holder, of course, is Linnell, who also plays quarterback for us.
In case we get in a little trouble, he knows he has a bailout.
He's got great hands, but he's got a good arm too if we need to get out of some trouble. And then Aaron Sears is our kicker, and our protection's been great. Our snaps, our holds, it's all a process. So it's not just a one-man show. But when he is called upon, he's made some clutch kicks in between the ears. You won't find a better competitor or a guy with more mental toughness than our kicker.
Well, it is a known fact through several media outlets and other things that you've got two quarterbacks. So you are working two of them, and I've never been around you with two quarterbacks, so let's talk about a little bit about that philosophy, where you are with that, as far as, are you going to decide that one's one, or, do you feel like you'll run two as long as both of them can show up on Friday night and play, or will that decision be hard for you, or, can you really, being honest, can you see yourself at game 10 still having two quarterbacks? I don't know.
Well, that's why you need to tune into Stork Vision or maybe UPN, Channel 30, My TV 30, I think, is having this game with Independence, but we'd really like you to come to the game and buy a ticket. You'll find a lot of questions answered if you come buy a ticket. We've got two great kickers. Garrett Taylor is a great kicker. He'll be doing a lot of our kickoffs because he can pin a lot of guys inside their 20, or he can get a touchback because of high school football. You can't pull it out of the end zone. So with our two great kickers, there's great competition. Instead of one guy getting fat and happy and getting what we call complacent, they compete against each other every day. And I'm sure they want to be the starter in every one of those spots. But they're getting better at their skill, which is football, every day. And same's going on with the kickers, and same's going on with the quarterbacks. The same's going on with my fullbacks. I got two good fullbacks. I got a 230-pound fullback. I got a 240-pound fullback. They're both really good at fullback, but I got two of them, and that's a good problem to have. One of them's going to be very upset when he's on the sideline, and that's the way a competitor should be. They should be upset. One of my quarterbacks is going to be over there with me. He could have a clipboard in his hand. He could have his helmet on. I don't know. We've been rotating every single play, and
there's nothing wrong with that until we find out who really. There's 10 other guys that have a say so in it too, other than you, and who gels the best with that 10.
Well, at the end of the day, we feel like, what's the worst thing that can happen? Well, you got two quarterbacks that can play. All right. Well, that's not a problem. That's a good thing. Last year we felt like we had one quarterback, and a lot of times we had to go conservative with a couple play calls. Just to make sure that, he stayed uninjured.
Right.
With that being said, we can go wide open now. And both these quarterbacks can run. Both of them can throw. They can run our offense. They've displayed a lot of good leadership. And, the biggest thing is they compete every day. And it's not one of those deals where, you messed up, you're on the bench.
Right.
You messed up, you're human. Let's talk about your mistake. And if you keep making it, then you may be on the bench because I got a guy over here that's competing with you. And that's what we think. Competition makes the world go round. That's a saying around here. And, in life, they're going to be doing a lot of competing, hopefully. Hopefully, they're not just going to, get bullied around and take what they're given. Hopefully, they'll go out and earn something. And right now, those two have been battling it out. They've both done really well. They've both surprised me at how far they've come. And I think a lot of it has to do with they're competing with each other every day.
Patriot Hallways have been blessed with stars, as far as you've been blessed with nice talent, and this year you have no stars. You have no utility players, basically. I don't think you have anybody, maybe one or two maybe playing both ways, but other than that, they're not on any 247 sports board or any of the other ones. Talk a little bit about this. This is truly, it's going to take everybody. So talk a little bit about, I knew about the Chip Nobody when it first started, when you got the t-shirts and everything. So tell the people a little bit about your one player, Mr. Chip Nobody.
Yeah, that's kind of been our little slogan this year, kind of taking the identity of, hopefully you got a little chip on your shoulder, they act like maybe we're just a bunch of nobodies because we're not getting a Twitter hit now and then. We're not getting a lot of attention from some of these guys, but we like to think that maybe we're just a bunch of talented guys that haven't been discovered yet, and hopefully they can get discovered with good play on the field. Hopefully they can understand that, it don't matter how many stars you got. At the end of the day, it matters how you play as a team. And I think you see a lot of that nowadays whenever you look at some of the best teams around. There's always going to be some talent, but talent doesn't guarantee you a win. And our guys have kind of taken it as, you know, we're going to play with a chip on our shoulder, and hopefully we can change that nobody into somebody. And we do have talented guys. They've just yet to be discovered because they've played behind, you know, like I said, 9 guys that went on to play college football. So it's their turn, and that's what you want in a football program, not a football team. A football team can be good, and then the next year be terrible. A football program, you want the next guy in, the next guy to step up. And when that guy graduates, or if he gets injured, hopefully not, but if he gets injured, the next guy can step up and be talented as well. So yeah, we're not worried about, you know, all this attention for individual purposes. We're worried about the team concept, and our guys have bought into that.
You played a freshman game last night, I assume?
We did.
And how'd you do?
We won 34-7. We played Cannon County's JV team.
Okay.
And, you know, it was tight early, and our guys pulled away in the second half, and we're very proud of them.
How's Kyler doing?
Kyler's doing well. They've already got a game under their belt. He's playing with the 10-year-old, I think, Triple Bs.
He's with the triples.
Yeah, Triple Bs.
He has something. When I see him, I'll have to let him know that that's not a double or a single. Triples are high honor in youth football.
There was some really good games. His preseason schedule was kind of rough too, but it paid off in the end. He went over and played Franklin, and they did really well. It was really hot out there about 1 o'clock, and kids were melting left and right, and he played 2 or 3 spots. He filled in for whoever was on the sidelines trying to get some water, and started on both sides of the ball, so I'm proud of him.
Any special logistics for Friday night as Independence comes over here?
Well, I tell you, Independence has a great following. You know, a school that's been around probably 10, 15 years, but they have a great following. They're going to have tremendous fan support. Their student section is unbelievable. We hope to match them with our students. I think they're going to show up early and often. So the biggest thing is, you know, you can always DVR it. You can always TiVo it. Push record on the TV and then be part of this. Be part of this experience on my TV.
One of the best. Well, it's one of the best social experience. If you really want interaction with people, come to a Friday Night Lights football game, especially the first Friday night game. There's nothing going on. You're not competing with anything.
Well, everybody else, you know, everybody's undefeated at this point. So come out and support. And, you know, our guys need your support. I think it's going to be a huge crowd, so you need to get here early. There's a lot of events going on early.
Okay.
You know, they got a little luau going on.
All right.
There'll definitely be some tailgating, but we expect a huge crowd. And come on out and get on TV.
All right. So right here at Ray Hughes Stadium this Friday night, it'll be the Independence Eagles and the Oakland Patriots. Kickoffs at 7.